Hello, I'm Dr. Janet Hall, clinical psychologist, hypnotherapist, and author of 8 books, and 6 of them are on parenting. And today I want to talk to you about this neat little book called The Super Parent Survival Guide. I like to have titles that are perplexing because at the end of the day, they're not true. For instance, I have a book called Fight Free Families, and there's no such thing as a fight-free family, nor should there be a super parent. But the truth is that you can learn to minimise dramas and upsets in your house by reading my book and picking up all the tips. For instance, learn about the 4 R's. The keys to preventing child behaviour problems at home are rules, number 1. Regulations, boundaries, number 2. Routines, where children learn, hey, this is how it's done in our house, this is what's expected. And rituals, which are all about let's share in doing things that make us feel good. And in another clip I talked about a ritual called a family meeting, which is set out in Fight Free Families. So do take a look at that. So the things that you need to know, what we call the 4 C keys to positive parenting, is copying. You are your child's most important role model. Parents need to model the best behaviour for their children to copy. Next C is cues or signals, reminders, arrangements, rules are all cues. Cues set you off into good habits, and without cues you get stuck in bad habits. So create rules for your families. For instance, about breakfast time. Why not have a rule that breakfast ends at 8:15? If you need to get out of the door at 8:30, put all the breakfast foods away. I mean, of course you're not going to starve your child and send them to school without their breakfast, but that's where they have a backup of a muesli bar or an apple that they put into their bag and take off to school with. Don't let breakfast be a battleground. But the most important thing you need to learn as a parent about our 4 C's, we've had copying cues, is consequences. And the consequences are rewards, which usually make people happy, and punishments, which usually make people not feel so good. And in this book and in Fight Free Families, I go into all of the right situations for rewards, and if you ever use punishments, and truly, if you're a clever parent, if you're a super parent, you'll think of other ways with our cues and our copying to avoid the consequence of punishment. But there are some stages or some behaviours, if there's a bad danger about to happen, perhaps a child's about to stick a fork into an electric plug or, dangerously hitting another child, then punishment may need to be the factor. I bet you're thinking, what's the 4th C? Well, the 4th C in Super Parent Survival Guide is compassion. A child is simply a child learning how to get on in the universe. Often the child will be overtired, exhausted, have eaten too much crap food perhaps at a party, and they'll just go into a tantrum. They're the times where it's not about parent power and who's right or who's wrong. It's about how quickly can you soothe the child and preferably get them to have a nap. And once they wake up, perhaps you can talk them through. Next time we go to a party, let's make sure we don't eat too much of that orange cordial and eat the hundreds and thousands on the bread. Teach them better ways to behave and navigate their ways through life and not get themselves caught up. But do remember compassion. Of all the psychological rules that help you be a super parent, truly at the bottom of it all, it's about your heart and your heart space and how your child learns to connect with you through the heart space. That really, really counts.